Hi guys, I wanted to share kind of contouring versus bronzing, kind of a little bit about contouring and bronzing, what products I use, what brushes I use, and all that good stuff. So contouring is more of like a very defined, very strict line. It's a little bit more technical, and what it does is it creates a shadow, it gives the illusion of a slimmer face. And you put it in like almost the same areas as what you do for bronzing. So bronzing is more giving your face some color, still creating that shadow, just not as hard, not as defined as a contour. So I personally more like the bronzing side versus the contouring side, but I kind of wanted to share both because I know they're super popular. So this is the product I use for bronzing. This is our Beachfront Bronzer. Bronzing, you can use a matte bronzer or you can use a shimmer bronzer. This has a little bit of shimmer in it, whereas contouring, a lot of people like to use matte products for shimmery products, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's more of like a personal preference. But I'm going to show you bronzing on this side and then contouring on this side. So for bronzing, I like to use a bigger, fluffier brush. So something like this or something like this is what I use most often. So I'm going to show you how I do that really quickly. I'm going to use this big fluffy brush. So you just dip the product on there, and kind of like the trick to it is making a fish face. And you see the lines created there? That is where you want to put the product. So I'm just going to dip some product on here. And then I also like to put it on my forehead, just like on my temple, right here a little bit, and then down my jawline as well, just to kind of match those colors. So as you can see there, it gave me some color over here. It definitely gave me like a little bit of shimmer because this does have some shimmer in the product. So that is what bronzing looks like. It's a really popular like in the summertime. You know, or if your foundation's a little bit lighter and you want to match it or you want to hang on to it for a little bit longer, you can use some bronzer to kind of prolong that foundation color. So for contouring, usually you use something a little bit more defined. So these are two super dense brushes. They're pretty thin, just more defined than like a fluffy brush that we use for bronzing. So I'm just going to dip this right here. Same thing, the fish face. And you kind of draw that line. Now it doesn't have to be like super defined like this, you can actually blend it out, but that's kind of the gist of contouring versus bronzing. So this is more of like a very defined line. Obviously you can blend it out a little bit, it doesn't have to be like that harsh. But it is definitely more defined than something just like a bronzing. So personally, I like doing the bronzing more than the contouring. It's definitely a personal preference. Just like with the products, it's personal preference whether you use a matte bronzer or a shimmer bronzer. So I hope this was like a super quick informative video about like contouring versus bronzing. I get a lot of questions about that. So I just thought I would share like a really quick routine. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.